Then our turn, I will fall down to 6, then draw for the turn. Not a bad draw. We need to get in there, and that'll bring him down to 2.
Since he's attacking, I'm going to go and respawn and cast Magma Spray, targeting the token. The reason I'm doing that now is I'm trying to save my life total as much as possible, because effectively he's dead to my team next turn.
Then I'll go play out our token generator, and then we'll pass the turn.
Marsh Flitter is not something I really want to see. We'll see what we get. Now that's pretty good. It keeps us from not dying right away. But I'm going to go ahead and first I'm going to review the board. He does have Glorious Anthem, so it does change the combat math a little bit. Along with the tokens, he can make his Marsh Flitter effectively a 4/4. So that is something I want to worry about, because I want my Helion to die in combat. But right now I think I'm going to be aggressive and beat in for 6.
So I have a couple options here. He's at 4, so I want to be able to put lethal damage next turn. So I really need to think about what I'm doing. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and Path to Exile the Anathemancer, because if he has a land, which he hasn't played one this turn, he could potentially kill me next turn. And then I'm going to go ahead and double block the Caldera Hellion and kill it. And with damage on the stack, I'll sacrifice it to Marsh Flitter in case he has some kind of wrath effect.
So I've lost Caldera Helion. That's not what I really want to see. I'm pretty much dead next turn unless I play something, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Well, it turns out I can't. Suddenly I don't have the mana to play Kitchen Finks. Putrid Leech doesn't do much. Because he has a flying forward life, the only thing I can do is play Putrid Leech and hope for the best.
I wonder if I should have double blocked there. So we go to my turn, and we get another Bitter Blossom token going down to 5. Makes it a close game, 5-4. Draw our card. Then we go into the tank, thinking what's the best way to win this game, and really let's see if he has something and attack.
I'm going to go ahead and respawn with a Magma Spray, and I'm going to target the Marsh Flitter. The reason I'm feeling like I should target the Marsh Flitter is in case he plays another one, he can protect it with the goblins that he eventually might get. I can't do anything about this, so I'll have to take the 2 and go down to 2.
And then we're done with our turn.
So right here, I just need to go for the win. He is at 5 life, I'm at 2 life. He does have a blocker. I don't have a way of removing it, but we're going to go ahead and beat in there for 2.
Then I'll go ahead and block.
And I lose my creature. I can't pump it. There's nothing else I can do. Pass the turn.
So, Bitter Blossom token brings us down to 4. Draw for the turn. It's not a bad draw. It always could be better. We're going to play pre-combat to force him to play any red wrath effects he has. So we'll play Burnt-in Forge Tender.
Which I do have to do. I have a Jund Charm, which I drew last turn, so I'm going to have to play Jund Charm, choosing to deal 2 damage to all his creatures.
And since Burnt-in Forge Tender isn't in play, I just have to watch my guys die. And then after that, we'll be done.
Forge Tender effectively stops my Anathemancer, but what I'm going to go ahead and do anyways is I'm going to take a pane of damage and go to 1 and play Kitchen Finks, which puts me back at 3 life. I'll pass the turn.
What's the page at?
3 now.
So we go to my turn, I get a Bitter Blossom token, then I go to 3, and let's see what our draw phase has for us. Nothing too exciting. We can attack with Burnt-in Forge Tender, because then he's going to gain life and my Forge Tender dies, so we have to pass the turn.
Alright, so far okay. I have to make sure I deal with the Fairy Rogue over there, so let's see what we draw. Alright, so before anything, I'm going to go ahead and attack for 3.
Being at 3, I have to block. but since he has a Anathemancer, I have to block with a fairy token.
Which is okay. I'll persist back. I go up to 5. And I just pass the turn.
Go to my turn, then I'll go down to 2, draw my card for the turn. Then here again, our play is pretty obvious. We have to play Cloudgoat Ranger, which is pretty good for us. That gives us 3 more tokens and forces him to draw a sweeper. And then since we die to Anathemancer anyway, I'll play out lands now. And then I'm done.
We're going to go ahead and draw. And effectively, drawing lands at this stage in the game is not what I want to do. I'm at 5 life. I can't really beat in because Cloudgoat Ranger can now become a flying beast on his turn, and I will die to Bitter Blossom when he goes to 1 life. If I unearth an Anathemancer, he can kill it with Forge Tender. What my plan was for this turn was to have to play Forge Tender, or play the Unearth spell, which makes him have to sack his Forge Tender. If he didn't have the Cloudgoat, that means he would only have 1 blocker to my 2 attackers, which I'd hope would win the game. Unfortunately, the Cloudgoat Ranger effectively ends that, and there's nothing I can do. I can play the land, pass a turn, he goes to 1, and I lose. Alright, so for the boarding, what I go ahead and did is I took out 10 cards, and that's kind of a lot to do to take out for a matchup, but many of these cards are kind of dead anyways in the match. What I did is I take out the 2 Terminates, the 2 Shriekmaws, and 2 Makeshift Mannequins. The reason I take out the Makeshift Mannequins is they kind of don't do enough for this matchup. The Shriekmaws, almost half of his creatures are black, and Terminate, I want to actually get more of my removal than just killing 1 creature. For those, I would like to bring in 3 Caldera Helion, which is the Devour guy, which you did see me play. Deals 3 damage to everything, which is great, as well as 3 Magma Spray. Magma Spray is really good for their Kitchen Finks, which is one of the more annoying cards. We also like to bring in 3 Torment of Souls. What's the name of that card? Everlasting Torment. I bring in 3 Everlasting Torment because it prevents the damage that the Borton Forge Tender would do. It also makes Wither, so all my Wrath effects like Jund Charm and Caldera Helion now put Withers on all his tokens, so which is really nice. The other thing I bring in is another Jund Charm from the board, so that would effectively make 4 Jund Charms, and that is a total of 10 cards. I also take out 2 Chameleon Colossuses and the 2 Bitumious Blasts. Now the Blasts I've been really liking, and I'm trying to figure out a way to make sure that all 4 are back in the main deck in this matchup. You can play around the board, but we still in the board have 2 Puppeteer Cliques, 1 Banefire, and 2 Thought Hemorrhages. This is the Jund board for Black-White tokens.
So for sideboard tech for Black-White tokens, there isn't a lot special in the matchup. Really what you want are Burnt-in Forge Tenders for their sweepers. And then I have Celestial Purges. There's I think 2 in the sideboard, and it's worth bringing in because Putrid Leech is a big pain in that matchup, and it's nice to get rid of Everlasting Torment because that negates your other sideboard card. As for sideboarding out, with my Black-White tokens deck, I'm not doing so much like I have a main deck. I just have a slew of sideboard cards for that we can tune the deck to whatever matchup we're playing against, because basically the litmus test of the format is Black-White tokens, so having the best sideboard for Black-White tokens is the best way to test. Normally you'd be taking out, I think it's Knight of the White Orchids and Zealous Persecutions. Most of us are running 3 and 3 of each of those, and that makes 6 cards, which is 4 Burnt-in Forge Tender and 2 Celestial Purges.